Today, we're going to have something special because you are Galah show. Yes, Sergey?
Yes,
And
we do.
It's my co-host, Sergey Kuptsov, and my husband.
Thank you.
You know why it's special? We have some guests from the Berkeley College, but most of the men. But today it's very, very interesting. It's Lady Gabriella Goodman. Let's check her out.
Baby, baby, babe. Baby, baby, baby. Baby, baby, babe. It's 5 a.m. and you again. This is where the story begins. You say you've been out with the fellas, but the perfume tells me where you've been. Oh, I knew for sure when you walked through the door, you had another lover. I read the signs, though I tried to hide all the pain I felt inside. You can make the story right. I believe what you say. Don't you tell me lies. Yeah, you can make the story right. It's a fact to me, but it's fiction to you. Same old story. You've been telling to me, but it's fiction to you. It's a fact to me, but it's fiction to you. It's a fact to me, but it's fiction to you. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much.
Wow, what a video! Hi, Gabriela. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's beautiful, beautiful. What a song.
Thank you.
So tell us more about you. Where you come from? Where did this dream, what you fulfilled, how it started?
I've been in Boston for about 21 years, and I came originally from Baltimore. I call myself a citizen of the world because I've traveled all over the world for several years now, touring and recording, and I have had multiple careers too, as a recording artist, as an educator at Berklee College of Music, as a writer, as a singer, as a performer. So I started off in Baltimore singing gospel when I was a kid, like maybe, I don't know, when I was about 12 or 13. And then I come from a musical family, so my oldest brother noticed that I was singing well in church, and he said, oh, come on, sing with my group. So I started actually performing out and doing gigs when I was about 16 years old. And then time went on, I started studying classical music and rounding out my training as a musician. And then somewhere along the way, someone called me from New York. My ex-husband's best friend, actually, called me from New York and asked me if I could be in New York the next day to sing background for Roberta Flack. And that started an international career for me. And so I traveled with her for several years, performing everywhere, you name it, Asia, Switzerland, Japan, China, Germany, everywhere. And so we were doing lots of gigs, and actually the very first gig that I did with her was with Miles Davis, opening for Miles Davis in Japan. So that was, there's still information about that on the internet today, believe it or not. And so flashing forward, I started doing gigs in New York of my own, even while I was singing background for her and writing. And somewhere along the way, someone asked me about doing some writing with a writer by the name of Wayne Brathwaite, who was producing Billy Ocean. Wayne took a song that he and I wrote to a club, CBGB's, I think, and showed it to Shaka Khan. And the song was You Can Make the Story Right, which wound up being a #1 hit for her. And it's on a Grammy Award-winning CD. And then other record companies were interested in me at the time, so I wound up signing with a German division of Verve. So my first release was released in Germany and Europe on JMT, but then when it crossed the ocean, it was on Verve.
Okay.
So it's Verve/JMT.
I see.
So I have 6 CDs. And I also am an educator. I bring all of the information that I've learned along the way as a background singer, as a lead singer, as a songwriter, blah, 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 into the classroom.
Every position.
Every position, right? Now I'm a producer, too. Into the classroom. And when I got to Berklee, I met Max.
Max? Who's Max?
Maxime. Yeah. And so my songwriting partner and I at the time, Armstead Christian, were doing a show, and we noticed Max. We said, oh my God, he's such a great pianist. Yeah. And we contracted Max to play on our show with us at the time, way back in the day. And we've been friends ever since. And we've been doing some performances. We just came back from the Black Sea. And I've got a CD coming out that's got Max on it all over the CD. It's fabulous. A jazz CD that's coming out within the next 2 months. So we're just moving forward.
Wow, excellent. I think, Sergey, this is the best introduction for our friend Max Lubarsky. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming back. Thank you. Do you know, we like to ask, how does this idea start? I understand, look at this, it's so busy. What the heck you want, about this jazz festival, the Black Sea? How this started?
It started with me for many years trying to bring something to my hometown, Odessa, and organize something and bring musicians and do concerts there and bring what I have here, what I learned here, what I encountered here, trying to share it with people and young musicians in Odessa. And I've been trying to do that for quite a few years and always encountering difficulties in different ways. And this was the first year that finally it came to be. And thanks to KVARTAL Concert and the whole team of KVARTAL Concert, who agreed to, believed in it and agreed to take on the whole organization and sponsoring and creating this event. And that's how the whole thing became possible. And the idea was, and is, and what we had is to create something more than just a concert, to create some kind of event that involves different angles. That would be a concert, obviously, is ability to bring amazing musicians like Gabriel GOODMAN, and also we had Oscar Stanyaro, wonderful bass player, and Yaron Israel, to Odessa to perform, but also to share their knowledge. So in addition to having two great shows, we had a day of master classes where each of us had a individual master class specific to their instrument, and also we had a group master class where we could all play together, talk, answer questions, had a little jam session where people could come in and sit in and play with us and play among themselves. We could meet with the music college, jazz department of music college in Odessa, and meet with the students, meet with the teachers, hear the big band. That was really wonderful. Some of us were able to give books that they wrote to the college. We also had an opportunity to organize a competition. We had a competition going along with the concert. And the competition was for all the musicians in Ukraine, all over Ukraine. And the winners, we had 4 winners, very talented people, 2 singers and 2 drummers, who some from Odessa, some came from Kiev, who performed with us at the concert, and they also had received the scholarship to be to studying online for online course with Gabriel GOODMAN and with Yaron Israel. So all of them will have the three-month long online course at Berkeley. So that an amazing opportunity for them. That also an amazing opportunity for us to meet them, to study, to hear them, and to share with young talented musicians in Odessa.
You know, Max and Gabriel and Max, what I like personally, that you turned just usual jazz festival into something very different.
Expanded, yeah.
Yeah, you expanded this because the big part of it is educational thing, you know. That's very important because wherever you go for jazz festival, you just listening and watching the musicians, artists, big artists, you know, you turn it into something that will attract young generation, where is the experience will flourish, you know, and going to the young generation, and maybe attract more people to education, to the good professional high-level music, you know, so they can differ what they listen, and they, of course, they can choose. And I see this, you're the beginning of very big things, you know. I think you should press on. And that's an absolutely new form, you know, to have this, just even we like the title of it, yeah?
Yeah, the
Black Sea Jazz Weekend. It's so sweet,
yes, it was
you know.
sweet, Black Sea Jazz Weekend, you know, even jazzy.
And God bless you guys. Yeah, that's so meaningful. First of all, what you're doing, and you're the first one who started to do the big things and turning this into
It
right
was
direction.
Max's idea. It was Max's baby. He brought us all
yes,
together
we know
for
that.
that.
Wow.
But you know, it's difficult to move without friends.
Without
Oh, yes,
team, you
absolutely.
need to have a
We
team.
definitely had a team.
You did a big part because you found in your busy schedule time
That's
to go
everything, yeah.
overseas, far away,
It was
and
a
give
pleasure.
yourself.
Yeah.
It is.
It
This
was
is
a
what my
pleasure.
question, tell me, I understand you work with so many international students, but to be in Odessa, it's only the one kind of student. Is it something different? Or how your adoption time, they came? Or you just jump, looks like for you it's, work as usual?
No, it wasn't work as usual. It was a really nice experience because there were some forms of music, at least in my workshop, there were some forms of music that some of the students had not heard. And I covered 3 different genres of music: jazz, R&B, and gospel. And some of the students, well, they had heard the jazz, obviously, and they had heard the R&B, but they hadn't been exposed to the gospel. And we started with one song, Wade in the Water, and then one of the students knew one of the traditional songs, Oh Happy Day. And we wound up with a gospel. I taught them the song in probably like 5 minutes, and everyone was excited, and Max was playing it, and we just had a wonderful spiritual moment in that. It was
It's
wonderful.
evangelical.
It's evangelical
Yes.
moment.
It was.
Absolutely.
It really was.
Absolutely.
It really was.
We
It was a
agree.
lot of fun. So it was improv, education, but also spirituality too, all wrapped up in the same experience.
I cannot stop myself to ask, why are not playing
Spiritual song.
Yes, it's a very spiritual song. Galina keep the CD in her
I want it broken
car,
already.
and she listening Evening of Roses.
Yeah, this is the spiritual song. Do you play?
Have you heard, Gabriela, this tune?
Oh
he
my
has a-
gosh.
You should check it.
Oh, yeah, you should.
And it's a great arrangement.
Great
And
arrangement.
very good.
Look at what happened with my CD. Look at what is broken.
It is love.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. This
And
is
where's mine?
the great song, they put, because what I like, when they have a meaning, they have a message, this is for me. Maybe for someone it's
Yeah.
different
No,
songs.
it is a beautiful
Yeah, absolutely. Tell about, so how many students you have at the scholarship? 41? The
We had, in the competition, we had about 50, 60 people who were part of the
wow.
competition.
Yeah.
And we chose 4. And 2 singers and 2 drummers.
Yeah.
So, but I understand about that. Yes, and everything, this is your goal, but how you found yourself? Moscow, you went to St. Petersburg.
It was quite the trip.
Yeah, I know you have experience of a little bit white nights.
Oh yes, where it was like it looked like it was noon at like midnight. I've never seen anything like that before.
Oh, yeah. It's strange, yeah.
It's always
So this was planned, yeah, Max? The Moscow, St.
Yes, it
Petersburg.
was planned as one trip because first of all, a big part of it is once you cross the ocean, it's much easier to do things on that
That's
side
right.
and combine
Yes.
them.
Yes.
But also, we have very close connection with people in St. Petersburg and Moscow, and it's always we went there in September last time,
Yeah,
like
we've been there 2 or
several
3
months
other
ago.
times. Yeah.
And we wanted to come back and do more performances, so that was a great opportunity once we crossed the ocean to do that. And it's always an amazing experience. Both cities, we love that. They're great people
So
there.
tell us specifically what you done in Moscow, what you in St. Petersburg. The same, like the classes, master classes. What you done, guys?
Well, it was both. It was we performed at the Igor Goodman
Okay.
jazz club there, which was great, And we also did a master class in Moscow earlier that day as well. It was a tight schedule earlier that day, but and this particular master class was for educators.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
questions were different.
Of course.
The interaction was different, which was great. And then of course that night we got together and we performed with the band there, and then we were off to St. Petersburg the next day.
You took train.
No, we flew.
We flew.
You flew? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
At 12:40
Oh,
a.m.
a.m.
You know how we did in our time. Just you get into the train and in the morning you
Yeah.
We did that in the fall, in
In the
September.
fall,
We did
yeah.
that. We went from Moscow.
Yeah.
We did a festival in Moscow, and then we got on the train.
Took the train, yeah.
And then in the morning we're in St. Petersburg, which was actually very good.
Well, I know because, of course, you grew up in Russia. I cannot skip the question. How the food over there for you?
The food?
The food.
Oh, the food is wonderful. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the food there. I love fish, and everywhere I went, I found salmon, which is my favorite. But I also found trout. There was another kind of fish that I found there. I can't remember the name
The
of it.
bass? No?
No, that's a different.
It was a different kind of
Sturgeon?
sturgeon, I think.
Yeah, probably sturgeon.
It was
yeah.
really good, though. So I quite liked the food there. I thought it was good.
I know we have a few minutes because I would like, to have a small clip, and definitely, my dear viewers, I promise we're going to make, a big full show, 25 minutes just about this event, wonderful event. What's your goal? You come back now. I know you're tired. I know, just looking for vacation.
with this educational, I would
I
say,
don't
jazz
believe
project.
you're all still thinking about the coming back, how we can do, how to start. What's your goal now? What's your dream?
Goal with this project?
Yeah, with this project. Yeah.
Well, I think my main goal would be to have it going on, to continue that, because that was a great start. It was a great event, and I really hope that it's going to continue. It's going to expand, hopefully, to something bigger. But I think the closest goal is to do it again next year. And then we'll go on from there. But we really hope that the resonance that we got and the response that we got from this event, which was really amazing, will generate enough interest to bring this event back and to do it again, and hopefully involve more people, involve more students, have more students, give the ability to more students to attend the master classes, to learn, to hear the music, and for us to share.
So do you practically think about the same team, or you will just have it flexible about your team, what you're going to bring over there?
Probably same team, maybe expanding, maybe having
You
wider.
will need supporters.
Yes.
You
Absolutely,
need
we
supporters,
do
help.
need
But yeah, we
supporters.
were talking to you guys. Please, who would like to help Max and
Absolutely.
Gabriela to
For this
educate
project,
people,
yes.
overseas, please.
Absolutely.
You
Find
contact
them,
us,
yes.
you can see the old phone
Yes.
numbers on the screen.
Because it's
or
a
of
good
course,
thing, it's
Yes.
a very good thing.
you can find on the Facebook, it's for sure, the Gabriela
yes.
Goodman
Yes.
and the Max Lubarsky.
Of course,
Yes, one more
everywhere.
time. Gabriela Goodman and Max Lubarsky.
Our dear
Guys,
friends,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hated what is the clock and sticking, there was so.
Thank
but,
you.
Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much
Thank
for you
you.
doing,
Thank you for
for
having
the
us.
dreams, the press on, and of course we're praying for you guys.
Oh, thank you
You
so
know,
much.
Thank
So we know
definitely.
Max always been a promoter
Yes, yeah.
of very good things, and God bless you, Max. And,
Yes.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
the
so much.
singing, the spiritual
and
song.
play Evenings of the Roses.
Yes,
I will.
play
That's
Evenings
a
of the
great
Roses.
tune.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Blessings.
so much.
Thank you, Max.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Well, goodbye.
This is for all of the lovers out there, and for anybody who is looking for love too, for that matter. You can still find it, it's still out there. There's a saying old, says that love is blind. Still we're often told, seek and you shall find. So I'm going to seek a certain man I've had in mind. Looking everywhere, haven't found him yet. He's a big affair I cannot forget. Oh,